Today we're making tombstones, starting with a cardboard box. I'm using this bread plate to help guide my pencil when I'm drawing some rounded corners at the top end of the tombstone. Then I'm marking each end of the line, and that will help to guide me when I'm drawing a line across the sides of the box. It doesn't matter if they're not exactly 100% directly across from each other. They just need to be close, and you can draw a pencil line in between the two marks on the side. So then we need to cut out along these lines. Some parts of the box are a bit thick, so all you need to do is keep going until you're all the way through, and then you can remove the corners of the box. Once you've done that, you need to cover the gaps. I'm using some tape here that wasn't as wide as the depth of the box, which I would have preferred to have, but I just used what I had. It did leave a few little lumps and bumps around the corners, but it doesn't matter. We'll just make the best of those later. And then I use a length of tape to reinforce the corners, and also to cover any messy, rough edges to smooth everything over. Any gaps that are still there, I cover those with another short piece of tape front to back. Any stamps, I cover those with white paint, let it dry, and then I mix some black and white together to make a nice grey, and I cover the tombstone. I like stencils. They help me to space my lettering and words and to centre everything. I write on the front of the paper so that I can see what it will look like in the end. Then I flip it over and do some dark lines on the back, because that's what we're going to use to press onto the tombstone to leave behind an impression that will use to guide us when we're putting our black marker or painting over the top. So once you see it, it'll be very faint, and that's okay. So here's mine. It's finished now, and all I need to do now is something with those lumps and bumps. So I decided to make them look like cracks. So I've extended those lumps with a little faint pencil, and I'm going over the top of that now with a black marker. Then I draw in some triangular marks, and I fill them in and just go over the edge a little bit to make it look like there are chips in the tombstone. Once that's done, I actually think that's good enough. I don't think you need to go any further, but I was feeling a little bit experimental and thought I'd try to paint something that would look like some moss around those little lumpy bits. I used colours from nature that I thought you might see in moss, so bits of green and yellows and browns and some black there to darken it. And I don't have a uniform colour. I have the colour on the brush a little bit speckled, so it looks more natural. But the problem here was I got a little bit excited. I'm not an artist, but I love experimenting. So I got different brushes and started to get into dabbing, and I kept dabbing and dabbing until it ended up looking like it had chicken pox or something along those lines. And so I had to fix it up. So the way to do that was to get some white and black paint and mix it together to try to make a similar colour grey. And I painted in between the black lines and smoothed everything over with a sponge. And it looks better there. It doesn't look like cracks. It actually looks like vines. Wasn't my intention, but I think it looks better. So it's okay to make mistakes. And you can just use the same application for anything that's foam. So that was a foam box. I've made things out of foam packaging and cut it down to make it flat. Here's one, and here are some others coming, and I'd like to wish you a very happy Halloween.